Welcome to another That Fuzzing Rock Show interview, sponsored by Helderberg Meadworks. Check out helderbergmeadworks.com. If you guys dig what you see here, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Facebook, and please share the page with a friend. Guys, this one's been on a bucket list of mine for months, years now. I'm completely excited. I got to kind of gain my composure a little bit. I'm joined today by none other than Joey and Krista Belladonna. Guys, welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys taking your time out to hang out with me today and chat. It's a pleasure having you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for reaching out.
Appreciate it. Listen, I have a ton of stuff to talk to you about, so I want to get right into it. I don't want to waste any time doing this. We're mainly here to talk about, I mean, frankly, there's a ton, but we're mainly here to talk about the Journey project you have going on, Beyond Frontiers. You have a couple dates that are in the end of December. Also, you have a tour with Anthrax that's coming in January. You're a busy man, dude. And I also want to talk about Chief Bigway as well, because I'm a huge fan of that as well. But we will definitely get to all that in just a little bit. First off, you guys just came back from Mexico, correct? Off the
yeah, we did a 4-day festival there.
Heaven and Hell, right? The Heaven and Hell open air one.
Yeah.
How was that? That was probably pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, it was definitely amazing. It was good, great crowd. And, going into those shows is going to be pretty big, so.
Is that some of the biggest crowds you've ever played to? I mean, you've had to have played to massive crowds.
We did Poland Woodstock, and it was 500,000. We did, big fours, 120, 30,000.
How is that, like, standing on stage and just looking out at that massive humanity? How is that?
You can only see about, I don't know, 200, 150 yards, without any really clarity. And from that point on, you just keep focusing on the show and never mind the size of it all.
So let's start where I'm gonna go way back, Joey. Let's start with what first got you into music.
Mainly it's just I enjoyed the Beatles. I liked the music. I liked the harmonies. I loved all the songs, the catchy tunes. And then you start branching from there, just escalating into like my sister's collection of albums. And she had everything from like Jethro Tull to Chicago and Crosby, Stills and Nash. Next thing you know, I'm on to Yes and Foreigner and Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Priest and Journey and whatever. So you just branch from there. And I always like to play drums, so you lead yourself into being in a band basically, and then next thing you know, your music influences start to take hold, and you go from there. Really.
When did you first start playing drums? Younger?
Probably around 15. I lose track of the age that I was doing. It was definitely 7th and 8th graduation, so maybe I was younger than that. What 13, 14? I lose track of what age I was at 7th and 8th grade. But I had a little band then. Wasn't really anything that special. And then you do the 9th through 12th in high school and, playing drums and singing and doing high school dances. And then branch it into the bars, basically.
So let's talk about a couple of bands. I kind of have the upstate New Yorker inside info a little bit. So I'm almost positive the first band was Zipper. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had a band in high school, which not many people knew of. So Zipper was after that point. And that got me off the drums. And then I started singing, so that was kind of my first go around. Yeah, we were kind of deep cuts, very deep cuts type stuff, like Sabbath, Scorpions and all that kind of.
Sure. And then there was Triffid, of course. We all remember that band from up here. It was huge. Triffid was pretty big up here.
We played a lot, yeah.
And then Bible Black, that's another one, right?
Short version of that, but that was the branch and of the connection towards reaching into the Anthrax camp.
And that's after Bible Black. You got into that little thing called Anthrax, right?
Yep.
How did that happen? How did you hook up with the Anthrax boys?
Well, the Bible Black guys basically weren't really doing very much at the time, and Carl Kennedy, that was producing the record, he had talked with Duck McDonald, the guitar player, and he knew that I was living with him, and he just threw my name out there, said, check him out, it was really good. And Anthrax was looking for a singer, so I just got a call to come up and check those guys out and see if I enjoyed the music and we could, hit it off together. And it was pretty quick, not really knowing what was going to come of it, but
sure,
it's worth a shot.
And then you got into the solo stuff, the Belladonna stuff, and then into Chief Bigway also, correct?
Yeah, they kind of like spiraled around each other a little bit, Mm-hmm. Chief Bigway was a lot more fun just to be able to get back on the drums and do a lot of cool classic rock 3-piece power trio kind of jam. It's fun.
So now, the as far as the Belladonna stuff goes, you had like five solo Belladonna ones, correct?
Yeah, there's, what, to be honest with you, all of them are like demos. They never were finished.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the point like, what, let's let people hear it. It's kind of cool as it is, because you live and jamming them all the time. Chris, for God's sake, she'd listen to us write a song a day down here, and we'd just whip them together, and they were never really fully. I mean, one of the records out of all the demos was considered an album release as a full record,
mm-hmm.
Belladonna, but the rest of them are all demos, and they all really were never super finished at all. But fun at the same time. And I have so much material sitting around from other
right.
that are never finished either, which are pretty good stuff too, but just never finished them.
So are there any plans to finish them down the road? Maybe make some more stuff with the solo?
I think with Krista and I, we've been working with the moving ahead to the Beyond Frontier guys. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of expectation to try to do something, many things, along once we get this thing, cracking, we can take on whatever we want musically. So who's to say that it wouldn't be something different or some of that, some of this, ideas.
So then we're going to let's talk a little bit about the Anthrax stuff, because you guys have been, obviously, considered one of the big four, one of the top 4 metal bands in the world. That's got to be a pretty great feeling. I couldn't even imagine what that, just being associated in that crowd, like you guys, and rightfully so, you guys have earned it. You guys did an appearance on Married with Children. I want to talk about that for a second, because I remember seeing that, and like I was like holy shit, my favorite band's on Married with Children. That's pretty crazy. So what was that like? How'd that come about? What was that like?
All I know is we got offered the job to do it. The however you get presented with something like that. And next thing you know, we're flying out to LA to a show that I didn't watch a whole lot, and not knowing what we were going to do in the plot of the story. So I remember getting there and just going, well, where do we come in? You start on a Monday and all these readings and people are just wailing through the script and stuff. But I mean, long story short, it was a really nice, thing to get that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We all enjoyed it very much.
It looked like you guys had a lot of fun. You guys you've done 6 studio albums with Anthrax. Now, during your tenure with the band, you've done 6 albums, been nominated for several Grammys. How do you think Anthrax sound has changed since spreading the disease in '85 to now where we're at?
I think our production, our pre-production and the actual producing end of it all has really, really stepped up a whole lot. I think we're really fine-tuned on how we want to write and record. That helps a lot too. Like even earlier on for me, was new, a lot of that stuff going in and just finding your way, what you sound like and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard for me to really answer for everyone, but I think we're pretty close to as the last two records, For All Kings and Worship Music are really kind of a good template for what we sound like at this point. It's old school, but it's still got a little bit more meat to it. There's plenty of fast stuff. We got it all really going on. Got melody, all that, harmonies.
Oh, absolutely. Now, do you have a favorite Anthrax album?
I mean, I don't really have any certain favorite. I always say that Spreading was something that gave me an opening to what I was doing vocally and musically. So that was just enormous for me to get that and find a place in the band and have the band develop from that point on. But, Among the Living, it was amazing. That album still, you'll hear more of that coming, and there's just, it's hard to really pick a favorite, really. I mean, I love the last two because I've had such great work done with it, more so than ever. And I'm really happy about those records.
Matter of fact, I was just, before you guys popped on, I was listening to The Devil You Know, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Yeah, good one, right? Chris, she likes that one a lot.
That's, my sister and I's one of our favorits.
Yeah, that's a kick-ass tune.
So I'm definitely not ignoring you, Krista. I was
no, she's
fine.
She's
So how about you, Krista? Do you have a favorite Anthrax album?
Well, I would have to say the album itself kind of, like I think everything else depends on what mood you're in and everything. I love City Euphoria. Spreading the Disease, though, I think is my favorite because it's the first one I've heard of Anthrax, and AIR. Do you remember when you used to have, I don't know if you're old enough, I'm not going to the cassette tapes, and you would play a song so much that the tape would flip and it would ruin the song? Well, that was my AIR. I played that so much that
we're
that I
talking about
ruined the tape.
cassettes. Yes, yesterday with Paul, like it's still got cassettes.
I'm right there with you because I remember having to pull it out to where the flip was, flip it back over, and then take the pencil and screw it back in. So yes, I know exactly where you're coming from there.
Get all wound up.
Yep.
So how long have you guys been together?
A long time, man.
We got engaged in 1989.
In 89. Okay.
So we dated for 3 months, basically. Oh, it was over the phone back then. You didn't have
yeah. Oh yeah.
You remember back then. So it was just the dial-up phone. Someone would ring and pick it up and hope it was who you were hoping it was.
Still have that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But now you can kind of just go, nope. That answer, that one, not touching that, right?
Remember when what was it? What do you caller ID? Oh, finally, yay.
That ruined me because I used to love making prank calls. That just killed me. It's like, oh, my livelihood is over,
Pick up while you're on the phone. I'm on the phone.
Yep. Get off. I'm on the phone. Yeah, my sister and I used to fight all the time over that.
Get off.
So let's talk about the infamous fire that happened in '88.
Wow.
You guys had a warehouse, I believe, was in the city, and lost a lot of stuff. How did you first find out that had happened?
Well, I got a call. Both Chris and I were in the hotel, and we got a call from one of the road crew guys. Said, "Yeah, there's a fire down there. I'll pick you up, and we're gonna go down and see what we can do." And that was it. We were on our way down there, and from there on, it's just like you have to wait till it all finishes, and then we can sift through that stuff. And then we had, eventually get on getting new stuff and continue writing persistence of time or finishing rehearsals and stuff.
So how, you guys lost almost everything, right?
Well, you lost a good portion of everything. Yeah. I at that time, after a certain amount of years, you forget what you have and what you brought there, what's in storage, because we always got stuff put away.
Sure.
We don't need, mainly the amps, the drums, the cases of things that were brought in with that stuff. But I'm not entirely sure if everything was gone from that point on. Well, enough, especially when you got a lot of, special things that you would like back.
Yeah, priceless stuff that you can't replace. I'm sure. Like, I know the one thing that broke my heart was I think it was the kit that had the skulls on it, Charlie's kit that had the skulls on it. Was that, I think that was in there. I believe it was anyways.
Yeah. No,
And that
stuff was in there. Yeah.
That was devastating because I was in love with that kid. I'm a drummer too, so I was in love with that kid.
Oh.
So you don't know exactly what you lost, but it was
Well, I
pretty
mean, I knew it was in there as far as when we're rehearsing, but it's kind of vague too because we weren't there a long time, you know, and you only spend so many hours, and then you go back to your hotel room and stuff.
Sure.
And I was so busy rehearsing that I wasn't observing everything that we had in that room as much. You know, I kind of remember a few amps that Danny might have had, or a couple of amps Scott had. Of course, the drum set. You know, I don't even remember the bass gear. You know, so it's really kind of vague. But again, you know, when stuff gets fried like that, then what do? Nothing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You have to walk away, and, you know, we salvage a few things, but it's a bit dangerous.
Yeah, that's too bad. So let's talk about the war dance. Probably one of my favorite things to see on any live performance you guys do is the war dance. You being up on stage and seeing that go, what's that like for you? Like, does that just get you even more juiced up to see that these guys are so into it?
Yeah, if you got that perspective from up above like that, it is pretty cool seeing it, especially when you get a real good look at it all. It's just awesome that they still do stuff like that at our shows, and I'm sure some people don't even know what that is. And holy cow, now where do I go and get out of that? So, you know, I mean, early on, Scott, God, he took me down to CBGB's. I mean, I'm talking like some hardcore shows, you know, that I was like, holy cow, you know. So I even witnessed all that early on in small places.
Yeah.
But now in a bigger magnitude, it's really awesome.
Have you ever moshed? Do you ever get in the mosh pit?
No, I don't get in a mosh pit. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing.
Did you ever do?
No. I've gone in the crowd, you know, but I don't really, that's just not my thing, you know.
I think they would protect you, though. I think they would protect you.
Scott even put me on when we went to the CBGB's. I know I went way up enough so I was out of it. It came fast, the rush of the crowd.
Yeah.
In that small place, yeah. Okay. Holy cow.
And I know that you guys have the eye in the sky too. With Charlie is up even higher than you guys, and occasionally he will stop the song because people aren't not moving around as much, or they're not having as much fun. But then when Scott kind of scolds them a little bit and says, "Listen, motherfuckers, excuse me, Krista, I'm sorry, you guys ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, let's, you know, I don't care if you're in the pit or not. Everybody's gonna be moving," and then the place just erupts. That's gotta be a charge, man. That's gotta be cool.
Yeah, it's fun stuff when we start to dictate what's going on, and we can get everybody to kind of regroup and let's start this right, you know. So it's fun. It's fun stuff.
But speaking of fun, dude, watching you live on stage, you seem to have a lot of fun on stage. Like, you just look like you're having a great time up there. You're in your element. You occasionally will grab a lot of cameras from the camera guys, and it seems like you always take cameras or you do something cool. Like, you look like you're having a lot of fun, man. That's great. Is that what's going on inside your head, or?
Yeah, I just think it's just kind of goofy headspace, you know. You're just excited, and yet everything's going so fast. So I just gather thoughts every few seconds, and I'm just kind of sporadic in my own way, but I'm very much paying attention to everything song wise too, because there's a lot going on. These songs are moving quick. Even though you want to have some fun, you still have to really pay attention, because if you miss something, you're off the rail, you know. But yeah. I like to have fun. I mean, I think people like to see you have fun, you know, but for the right reasons too, in the right way, right fashion.
Yeah, being stiff and robotic isn't a show I want to see for sure. But I mean, you guys just and you know, obviously we're all advancing in years, and you guys still just have it. You're not like some of the singers you see out there today that are still doing it, that are like singing every third word and breathing heavy when they're done. You just seem to still have it like you're in back in the day. And that's great, man. That's awesome.
And we're going like the other show that we just the other day we just did that's just coming cold off the couch after a couple of weeks or so. I mean, I practice at home and sing and stuff, but not like run around. I came home and like today and yesterday, I'm like, wow, why are my arms and legs sore? Oh, okay, that's right. We did a show. It's like you go home, you don't feel it the night in the morning, and then the next day later, you're like, man, I'm sore.
Yeah, superstar. So let's talk about the Big Four tour. Tell me a little bit about how was doing that tour. That was a long one, no?
It was. What was it? What did we do? 5, 6 shows. It was a while ago too.
That was so.
I lose track of the dates of when we did those shows.
Is that like 2010?
10 maybe, yeah, 10, 11.
Is that right?
Yeah, because Danny was still around.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many you did.
I want to say we did Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't even want to say how many. I'm thinking 5 to 6, maybe. Mm-hmm. I actually lost track. I need to do that one day. Just make a list of how many shows we actually did with the Big Four.
Now, Krista, do you go on the road with them?
I do.
You do?
Yeah, always come out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good thing. At least you're not like hanging out while he's out having fun. You gotta hang out. That's good. That's good.
We find plenty of things to do. In fact, we don't have time to do half what you want to do.
Yeah, it worked its way up to that. Started when he would be on tour, I'd be at home working, and it just evolved into this. Especially as we get older, as you said.
Yeah, why are you going to sit home and not do it? Come on out, let's enjoy it. Because you can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there's down moments of getting ready and doing the show and having the travel and all that stuff. But that's part of it. We don't mind it. We enjoy it. So some people hate it. So
now, how does it feel like when you were, let's say, back when you were in the in like the Zipper Triffid days around that way? How does it feel now to be one of the top 4 metal bands in the world, dude? Did you ever see that happening to you?
No, I mean, I think even when I lived in Oswego from the start of playing any kind of music, I thought I had plenty of abilities to be really good at what I'm going to do. And I enjoyed it so much that I would never, ever give it up, because I've seen a lot of people just give in because they don't want to take the time out, or they don't have the it thing. I don't want to, however you want to put that. But sure. I always felt like everything I was getting into, the bands I was in, I didn't see a whole lot of opportunity, but I always felt like if it ever did come, I think I could handle that, easily. And I always thought I was decent, and everything I did, it's just some of the bands just really didn't have enough to take on, like everybody wasn't on the same page and same,
sure.
Notes,
So you literally have toured the world probably several times over. There's probably a million tour stories, one that are better than the next. Do you have any story or stories that stick out in your mind as the best or worst? That, like, if I ask you, what's one of the tour stories that stick out in your mind? Do you have one that immediately hits you, or are they just kind of all?
Well, now, just, I mean, not very long ago, being out with Maiden, flying on their plane.
Oh, Jesus.
With Bruce being the pilot and just literally flying with them every show in South America, and then going straight to the plane, not even going through the airport.
Yeah, because it's private. You go to a different spot. Yeah.
Police escorts with them, where you just completely shut down the streets, the highways, just to go to the hotel. Like, even we had one just recently, but nothing is as extraordinary as that.
But it's funny you say that, because when Scott brought up in the van that first city of Iron Maiden was Mexico City, which you guys did 2 nights to. Now, all 3 bands were on the plane loaded with their equipment. So it was a 747, too heavy to land in Mexico City itself. So we landed at Toluca, which is where the festival was last Sunday night. So it was quite a coincidence you guys talk about that.
That's true.
Oh, wow.
Bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
So now, speaking of tours, Anthrax is going out on tour again mid-January of 23. You guys are taking Black Label Society and Exodus out with you. And I think I saw something about Hatebreed too. Like,
Hatebreed was in the first leg of that.
First leg. Okay.
Last year.
And that's an unreal lineup. So tell us about the upcoming tour.
Well, just establishing the same setup basically with another band, Exodus instead of Hatebreed. We're just gonna continue, just continuation basically of that tour. Maybe some ideas of some surprises. I don't know. We haven't really gotten that far, but maybe a new bus, something like that. Whatever. Okay, I don't know. It's really hard to say. A lot of it, you just kind of show up, and a few things will pop up as you go. But
well,
new band on there. Obviously it's a new package.
Sure, absolutely. And dude, I'm kind of lazy and out of shape, but if you need a roadie just to carry your mic stand, I know a guy. Just saying. I may be available for a few dates. Just let you know.
That's awesome.
That's good.
So now, worldwide, I know this is probably an impossible question to answer, but now, do you have a favorite venue that you like to play? Is there one that kind of stands out in your mind? Like, I dig the vibe of the room, or dig the stage setup, or how it's laid out. Like, do you have a favorite venue to play?
I don't. I just, some different cities, when you hit them, it's going to be crazy, and it's just they're exciting. Man, I don't. I like to just leave things to be equal enough to where I don't favor anything.
Mm-hmm.
I like to be on a level of, like, I don't put one show better than another, or like a place better than another. I mean, obviously facilities sometimes have a lot more accessibility for you to dress in and shower in, and parking, and it's just cleaner or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Other than that, I enjoy everything, and obviously I'll play small clubs, and I don't get discouraged. You can't have everything, and it's never going to be the same. So we play too many places to have favorites sometimes. I don't know. It's really hard to say.
So, having been on big stages in arenas and festivals, and then the small club gigs, do you prefer one to the other, or do you miss that small club feel sometimes, or do you prefer the larger venues?
Well, I know we haven't talked about the Beyond Frontiers Journey project I have, Chris. We both put together, and obviously you're going to be playing some smaller places, and to have an up close, real intimate, it's quite cool. It's almost more challenging at times, because you're so close, and everything is like, up front and center. And I think a lot of people do like those kind of shows, and I'm not discouraged at all to say, well, you just played to 60,000 and now you're going to play to 300 people or something, I don't really, I was talking to the guys today about it, or at least the bass player, Paul, and I just said, no matter what, we go in there, we still have to go, and no matter what you see and how many people are there, you really have to always be fully on with what you do. So, yeah, I like the small clubs. I really do. Obviously, it's tight, and when you have someplace you can't bring too much stuff in, and it's very limited. But at the same time, it's awesome. They always turn out to be so cool.
Absolutely,
they're electric in their own way.
And you kind of brought us right into where we need to be, because the next question is, let's talk about the new project, Beyond Frontiers. You have a few shows planned in December the 28th at the Palladium in, I always say this word wrong, I'm going to look like an idiot, but Worcester. Okay, I almost said Worcester. I was going to say it too. I'm glad you saved me. So then the 29th is a chance in Poughkeepsie. Tell us about the project, man. How did this come about?
We also have one other show right after that at Hampton, New Hampshire, and Hampton Beach. A place called the Wallies.
Okay.
So we're doing 3 in a row. And what was your question? I'm sorry.
How did this whole thing come about? Because when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute. I'm trying to think of how it would sound with you doing the vocals. And I'm like, this this works. How did you guys come up with this? It's great idea.
Well, Krista knows her and I have always, I like Journey. She knows I like singing it. And we just talked, and I said, geez, maybe we finally put something together. And here we are. We've been prepping to do, it's got a good band together here, and guys out of Nashville.
Yep. Great guys. Actually, we were on doing a cruise, and Joey's doing the solo, and the keyboardist, something happened. But so Joey said, hey, can I do a little Journey thing? And it was a metal cruise. So we were like, okay, but they said, yeah, I'll go ahead. And the keyboardist turned out to be who he has now. But it was great because we're on this metal cruise, and we're in the lobby, and we look up, and 7 floors of all these metalheads just centered around to watch Joey do Journey.
No kidding.
Just two keyboard players.
Yeah.
Me.
So that's when we went, okay, this could really work. And talked to Doug, who has his band is Lee Greenwood's backing band out of Nashville. So they've all together. They're professional. They're just the nicest guys, so professional. There's no egos involved. Everybody's so happy to be doing this. It's just such a fun event that we're all in to get this out there and get it going.
That's awesome. So now, who else is in the band? Let's give them some props here.
Paul Arts on bass, Doug Carter on keyboards, Justin
Michael
Ward, but not Bill Ward's brother, but drummer, right? And then Matt Bradford. They're all from Nashville, and they like even tonight, my bass player's doing some country session. These guys do a lot of different things. I someday I'm gonna let them have the floor and tell what they've. Bass player Paul, he's played in the band, the Mummies too. Done a lot of that stuff, but you know what? They're into what we're doing. They're really psyched. They're working hard at it, and the band sounds great. We'll go into some more rehearsals next week, or the following week, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be very exciting to get it up and going.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got a really great set of music, so that's definitely right off the box. So it's exciting.
No, are there any more dates planned after the 3, or?
Yeah, we're stuff in the works. We haven't really solidified what's coming for next year, but there's just offers that come in. So we're just waiting to start popping the stuff up as we solidify it.
Yeah, work a little bit around Anthrax too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, like anybody else, everybody's doing other stuff. Yeah. It's something that I've enjoyed doing, that kind of music. I like singing that kind of music. I like Journey a lot, and I just thought I would enjoy doing a whole night of it. It's challenging, but it's very, very melodic. So, and I enjoy that. I don't get to do a lot of it. So,
right. Now, I almost forgot to mention also that you do the cameo thing as well.
Yeah, cameo. That's right. That's the first time I ever actually mentioned that. I usually don't advertise it that much. It just seems to, like, I filter out there somehow, and it's actually been nice. I've had a really, really good rapport with a lot of people, and touched a lot of people, and because a lot of people, it's not just birthdays, it's a lot of really heartfelt, circumstances that come my way, and you have to kind of take them on one by one.
My friend Tracy, I think it was last year or the year before, one of the two got me a cameo from you, which I thank you. I have to thank you personally for. No, that's it.
I'm talking to the talk. Talking the talk.
But normally, like, cameos are usually like a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Yours was long, dude, and it made my. What's that?
I said I'm sure I apologize for it.
Oh, dude, it was great. I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. Like, Joey Belladonna's talking to me. This is probably the best birthday gift I ever got. So it was really cool. It was, but yeah, I dug it, man, and I think that people should. Well, let me ask you this: Are they tough to do sometimes? Sometimes you just see a list of them, and you're like, oh god, I got to do this again, or is it one of those things where it's enjoyable for you to do?
I say that? Can I put a little word in?
Yeah, go
Of
ahead.
course.
He hears me down the hall somewhere. Like I feel.
As soon as he gets a cameo, he tells me, I got a cameo. I got to go do it. And it's like the first chance he can do to do it. He does it. It's number one on his list.
Or I'll
Oh,
find
that's cool.
room like
He
I'll be on
loves
the
them.
road somewhere. I go, I'm gonna go down this hallway. I'll be right back, and I'll find it so I can do it quietly. But yeah, it's definitely off the cuff, and it's I don't know if you've ever tried to talk into a screen, and I don't redo them unless something happens. I push the button and I get
Sure
out, but I do it just from the heart. It just whatever comes out, and I don't really think about it, and I just kind of go with whatever comes out. And I'm hoping that people, but when you do talk to yourself on the screen and there's no banter, it's quite interesting. But I get used to it because, and I'll always say, I'm sorry going on so long, but I start picking things that I could pick to you that may make you think about something that you wanted to know or something. So you never know, but I think it's good to give a little bit more. That's all.
No, mine was great, man. As far as talking to the screen, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've been doing this show a little over 2 years now. I think I've done 126 shows or something like that.
Wow.
And there's some nights I feel like I'm talking to only a screen. I don't think there's anybody out there. So,
well, I mean, look at it this way. I mean, you have us to bounce off questions,
right?
Your own. It's a lot different, You're not
absolutely 100%. So
I liked it. That's all. Thank you.
So let's with all this going on, what's next for you? I mean, you're a busy man. What's next for you? Do you have let's start with this. Is there a new Anthrax album in the works? You guys working on that?
You know what? There's progress. It's really hard to put it in all in words right now. It's definitely we just I guess it'll happen when it's done and ready, or at least ready to even start. But yeah, there's some progress for sure. There's movement, and you know what? Good things come if you take. We don't obviously don't rush anything.
Oh, for sure, yeah, absolutely. What about with Chief Bigway? Anything plans for that in the future?
After COVID, Chief Bigway lost a guitar player. Haven't really been in touch together. He had a move, and it just seemed to fall a little bit back into in submission, if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I would never do drum and put a thing together again. I do have tracks of my own that I've recorded over 2 years now, and I can go out by myself and just sing to the amazing music that I will never ever be in a band with.
Right.
So I kind of want to do that too, because I enjoy that. I've done some private parties and some outdoor shows by myself with my tracks, and it's people are kind of taken back by it, because I do such variety more than ever, and I kind of dig it because it's challenging, because I'll do like 4 hours of a lot of music by myself. But I'm not against doing the band thing, but obviously with Beyond Frontiers, I want to really see that, take, we both want to see it happen, where it's something that people are familiar with and want to go see it for what it is.
100%. Now, are you planning more Beyond Frontier dates after the Anthrax tour? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, there's, as we play, or even while we're, advertised as a band, offers will come in. Someone just texted me a little while ago about a show in the summer, so there's a lot of people that are inquiring. It's just a matter of where we're going to put it, and will it be something that we can do or can't do? Yeah, and obviously once we finish these shows, people will get to see a little bit more with what we can do and what we sound like,
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm going to try and get down to the chance to see it. I'm definitely excited to see this. This is going to be really cool. And listen, I've taken up a lot of your time, so I don't want to take up any more. You have anything else that you want to tell the folks before we wrap all this up?
What do you got? What do we got?
Well, we hope you all come out to see Beyond Frontiers. If not, then there's always Anthrax. And if not, we just hope you're well and stay healthy and happy.
Yeah, have a great holiday, and thank you for the opportunity. I think it's wonderful. It's very enjoyable to talk about this stuff because it's what we do.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys taking your time out, folks. Check out Beyond Frontiers. It's going to be at the Palladium in Worcester, Mass. On the 20th. I got to say it slow or I screw it up. On the 29th, they're going to be at the Chance in Poughkeepsie. And the other one again, I'm sorry?
Wally's in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire.
Hampton Beach, that's correct.
Okay.
And check out the tour schedule for the upcoming Anthrax tour. It's starting in January with Black Label and Exodus. And you can get a personalized message from Joey himself on Cameo. Look out for whatever else Joey has going on because there's so much. For more info, you guys can go to joeybelladonna.com. Facebook and Instagram are at Joey Belladonna Official. Twitter is at jbelladonna, anthrax.com, or cameo.com/Joey Bell. Guys, again, it has been my pleasure to talk to you. Appreciate you taking the time out, and I will look forward to seeing you at the Chance, Joey. Come real soon.
Awesome.
Well, I appreciate that, and you know what? It'll be wonderful.
Yeah,
Thanks again, guys, and we will talk to you soon. Joey and Krista Belladonna, thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.